Wait, can I throw in my wrapper?
Wait, not yet.
Get another pack of gushers. Don't go out yet. Chase, you're almost out of gushers.
Let's go.
He did that to me the other day and I died laughing.
Well, you're not laughing now.
Because it's the second time I've seen it.
Yeah, it's not funny.
Laugh!
No! Watch!
We could do a puppet show, probably. I know, they're just... Stop! You have...
It's blowing dust over all this stuff. You need a Swiffer, my dude.
No.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to BakaTaka, the world's greatest weeb podcast in the world. Sitting on the left, as always, it's
George.
in the middle, it's
Eric.
and I'm on the right, and I'm Chase. And you're listening to BakaTaka, episode 28.
Is it 28?
It's 28.
I was just about to ask. I thought you were going to say episode and then not know the number, because I never know the number.
Chase always, I kind of have an idea, but Chase always.
Well, I have to put them together, so I mean, like,
That's true.
I have a little bit of extra information.
You have an advantage.
Yeah, it's
You've
been
cheated.
other than the fact that we went to KatsuCon and stuff like that
been a
a
hot
week
minute.
after the last episode,
Yeah.
and we put that out and stuff. But yeah, it's been a week extra longer than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're slacking on the Let's Plays.
We're not slacking. I've just been working.
Like-
I've been working.
Like
Mom.
they're edited and stuff, but they just...
No, they're not edited.
Oh,
I put
okay,
up-
I lied. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but they're...
Yikes.
They'll be out sometime.
Anyways, well, since the last time we have watched at least 2 movies in theaters. I know me and George, and then Eric saw
have.
one of them.
What two? I know...
We went and saw 1917.
Yeah.
And then we went and saw Sonic. But
Sonic.
Oh,
you
yeah, I
didn't
didn't see
see
Sonic.
Sonic we saw before.
Yeah, you saw Sonic first.
Was Sonic before 19?
Yeah.
Sonic
Sonic
was before
first,
because
yeah.
we watched 1917 on a Monday.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sonic was
Right.
before KatsuCon, and then
We watched-
1917 was after KatsuCon.
We watched Sonic the Hedgehog at the Thursday midnight premiere at 7 p.m.
Yeah. Well, we watched the first showing in our area.
Well, I think it was the second actually.
No,
because
no,
I think
because-
they had one at 4 o'clock.
Did they actually?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
Is
not
this supposed to
then.
be like a midnight release?
yeah. At
Yeah,
4.
it's a midnight.
At 4?
At
Yeah.
4.
Anyways,
The day before.
anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog.
What'd you guys think of it? I know Chase loves Sonic.
I was just about as excited as Chase was. Chase, tell him how excited you were.
I was pretty on like
Just like a higher
like
plane.
yeah. I mean, you saw me when I was walking into the theater. I had like a huge smile on my face.
Oh yeah.
You
I
always
opened
have
the-
a huge smile on your face.
Yeah, but I opened the door and I smacked my bucket. My bucket fell apart and it landed on the ground. I was like,
It did.
oh,
He had the popcorn bucket for our theater.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It literally fell apart as he walked in the door because he slapped it so hard in excitement.
yeah.
He was ready, and then suddenly his
Was it?
bucket was broken and he was not ready.
Did you get a new one?
No, I mean, I just
He
put
just
it
put
back
it back
together.
together.
Right.
It was just like the handle popped
Yeah.
off.
Oh,
It's-
okay. I thought like stuff went everywhere and it was
Yeah.
ruined.
It was
we
really
went
funny.
in and we it was me, George, and 3 non-Sonic fans all watching.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, all watching.
I mean,
it.
they know Sonic. They don't have
Yeah,
a
they-
problem with Sonic. It's just they don't have the nostalgia we have.
Yeah. And we went in and we watched it. And if you're not a fan of Sonic, it's an all right movie.
Yeah,
If you are,
it's a kid's
yeah,
movie.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
The movie is made for kids. That's my
Yeah.
only complaint with that movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't made for me. It was made for children.
But if you are a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, man, that's a good one.
Oh, they did everything I wanted. I told Chase when we walked in, and I was just, there's 2 things I want. When I get in there, I want to start doing the Sega. That's what I want. And then I want like the opening scene to be Sonic doing something really fast and be like, let me slow that down for you. And that's basically what happened. So I was like,
more or less, that's what
the
happened.
the first 5 minutes just sitting in the theater, the 2 things I was hoping for happened.
Yes.
Nice.
And when that Sega went off, so there's a room filled with a bunch of adults and little kids, and they see Valkyria Chronicles literally on the big screen right in front of them, and they have no idea what it is.
Oh,
I didn't even know what all those games on there were.
Yeah, they just do all the Sega games and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But Valkyria Chronicles was like somewhat in the middle.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Marvel does when
Yeah.
they do the Marvel logo and they have all the
Exactly.
different
Yeah,
like,
the page
screenshots and
flipping
the
and stuff
page
like that.
flips. Yeah,
And-
it was like that except with Sonic.
And
Well,
I was
not
like,
Sonic,
I was
Sega
like,
games.
I can just imagine what these people are thinking, looking at all these like.
I would have lost my mind to see
Yeah.
Valkyria Chronicles on a big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was and the movie was. It was a different take on Sonic.
It is.
Okay, so modern Sonic is all about being cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so and
Yeah.
the thing about being cool though is that cool changes over time.
Mhm.
And stuff like what was cool in the 70s is it really cool nowadays
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But
Stuff is cycling around.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's cycling around and stuff like that. But Sonic is done with a different take on him because Sonic is supposed to be super cool, confident, and like your best friend and always reliable and stuff like that. And in this one, he's kind of scared.
Yeah, he's like a scared child.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because
And it works.
he literally grows up in isolation
Yeah.
Pretty
and
much.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because Knuckles like chucks a spear at his mom. And
Hello?
yeah, right in the beginning. And so,
Well,
Ugandan
yeah,
Knuckles, my bad. He's like, you don't know the way.
but like it's got the movie's got a ton of memes in it. We have Sonic.
Yeah,
The
there's-
Sonic drawing.
There was Sonic.
Oh my gosh,
Sonic starts flossing at one point.
he does start flossing.
They moved around some animation from the trailer because
Yeah.
his dance after when the car blows up and then the guy's like, "How'd you do that?" and Sonic's like, "I have no idea." They moved that dance instead. They changed it to making him floss
Yeah.
doing that,
Yeah, so
and
I
they moved
didn't
his
not
dance.
even catch that part.
They moved his
He
dance
did that.
over to when he put his shoes on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they moved stuff around and they appealed more to the younger audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
And it's like taken seriously and stuff like that. It's not just like super. I mean, it is super cliche at the same time.
I mean,
But the tone they took with it was very like
it
nice.
worked. Like I said, the movie was made for kids, and it was a perfect kids movie. But there was some stuff in there for like parents too. You know, they had to
Yeah.
keep it interesting.
I mean,
but,
they probably had to throw in stuff for the longtime Sonic fans like
Yep.
Chase now,
yeah,
and then obviously mass appeal for younger kids because
Oh,
Sonic is a very
100%.
it appeals to a young
Yeah.
audience. So
Yeah.
it was probably just a balance. of
So
both.
I found it pretty funny. They had some good gags in there. I think all the acting was really well done.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey
Jim Carrey. It is a very different Dr. Eggman.
Mhm.
Like completely different than any Eggman I would have expected.
Yeah.
But it's Jim Carrey doing Jim Carrey things, and that is always going to be good.
And at the same time, it's also they're setting stuff up for a sequel.
Oh yeah, they set
And
it up
stuff
for a
like that.
sequel.
And they also set Eggman up for a sequel because in this, I
And
think
he's actually crazy.
I think he's called Robotnik in this. And
Oh,
stuff
they
like
went
that.
with Robotnik.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, but
Well, they called him Sonic at one point called him Eggman because the robots he's using in the movie
Yeah.
look like
Yeah,
eggs.
yeah.
So he called him Eggman.
as he's like jumping around on top.
but
of
it
and
is
stuff.
Dr. Robotnik.
But by the end of the movie, you're like, okay, he's Eggman.
Yeah.
He legitimately is
oh
Eggman.
yeah, he's Eggman at the end.
Yeah, and they do some extra stuff. Are you ever gonna watch it?
I probably will.
Yeah, okay.
I'll
I'm not
catch
gonna-
it when it's like
I'm not
just,
gonna spoil anything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Netflix or something.
Happens in. But yeah, it's really enjoyable movie. I had a great time. It was a good way to start off the year.
Very,
Mhm.
very
Yeah.
good year.
Well,
So
since you talked about Sonic being cool and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
since this was caught in between our two movies, we'll segue into a horror story from Katsukon. Since it was right in there, we checked out a panel that was about sci-fi games. Remember?
Oh
and
my
remember the
gosh.
one guy that was talking about Chow Gardens and Sonic 2.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm like, honestly, I'm just stunned right now that we haven't talked about this on the podcast yet
Yeah.
because we haven't recorded
Yes.
since Katsukon. I
Yeah.
completely forgot.
Yeah.
I felt like we had already talked about
Oh,
this
yeah,
on the
but-
podcast.
because I was
but
like,
we haven't.
what is he bringing up?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was just like, he's bringing up Sonic and how cool he is, but then I was like, we can segue this into our Katsukon.
Oh yeah,
True.
100%. We gotta talk about that now. Then we can get to 1917.
Yeah, since it's since it's sandwiched in between them. But
Mhm.
we went to Katsukon in between these two movies,
Mhm.
and during one of the panels, there was a top 10 sci-fi panel, but all the panelists had their own list.
Yeah, so there were 3 people up there, 3
Yeah.
panelists. They each had their own top 10 list of
Yeah.
sci-fi games. So it's
Yeah,
it's a
sci-fi
very,
games.
a
Keep that
very
in mind.
subjective. These are the best 10 sci-fi games. Typically, of course,
Yeah.
only the ones they've played.
Yeah,
So it
and it was an
didn't
open
cover everything, but these people play a lot of games. I
Yeah.
can tell you that.
and it was an open debate panel.
Yeah.
So you were free to chime in or ask questions or give your input.
Yeah, why'd you put this on the list? Why wasn't this on the list?
But-
How did you not put this when you made that on the list? Kind of
Yeah,
stuff. And it
but-
was
I'm bringing up
Right.
Sonic because one guy in the audience was talking about Sonic 2 and how it had the Chow Garden.
One of the panelists was the girl. She brought up that her favorite was Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah,
And then the other guy said, "There's no Chow Gardens in
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2."
triggered Chase. He yelled across the room and said, "Sonic is about going fast."
You did yell that.
Yeah, I mean,
I was very surprised.
Our table was upset in general.
I wasn't expecting to say anything, but it just randomly came out.
But
Sonic is about going fast.
So that got brought up. But there was a whole slew of other issues we had there. One guy that triggered the entire audience.
Oh, everyone got upset.
Very first thing, number 10 he puts on his list is The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt.
Everyone. As soon as he said that, literally number 10 on his list, everyone was super sweaty. Everyone was so sweaty immediately.
Oh my goodness! Like, so we don't check out a ton of panels. We like to check out Merchant Hall. We just like the experience of the convention.
Exactly. We like the people watch.
Yeah. We check out AMVs. We'll check out premieres. Those are our main things.
Love the premieres when they have them.
If we got free time, we'll check panels, and this one looked the most interesting for the time we had. But I've never seen so many sweaty people over debating what is classified as sci-fi and what's not sci-fi.
Oh, it was so good.
And how do you get to a sci-fi setting?
And also the fact that that one guy, the one who was like trolling everyone with all his picks, like picking the
I don't think he thinks he was trolling though.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, he literally has like terrible taste because he threw Danganronpa 2 up there.
Yeah,
which is not the best Danganronpa.
This is the same dude that threw up Phantasy Star 3.
Yeah,
the worst Phantasy Star on there of everything to throw up there.
He threw like
just to clarify how he even was able to like back up his point that The Witcher 3 was sci-fi. Just run us through that, Eric, because you're the only one who's played it and you read the books and stuff. So explain how he reached the conclusion.
So like there's this weird conduit stuff and blah 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 that explains a lot of stuff in The Witcher. And it's like how time skipping works and going back in time and whatnot. So he asked the audience, how would you explain this? And everybody's like, well, obviously it's fantasy, so it's magic. But then he was like, but then they time skip and Siri does this and goes to another game and ends up in Cyberpunk 2077. That's a sci-fi game, so that makes Witcher sci-fi. And everybody was just like, I see your point, dude, but that doesn't make Witcher sci-fi.
And it was pretty much the same argument he had for Alan Wake.
Yeah, he pulled it on Alan Wake too, because Alan Wake is a noir game. It's like a mystery, it's a crime thing.
Yeah,
well, but it's a supernatural.
Yeah. But
supernatural
Alan Wake is a set universe, but it's part of other universes, in particular the Control game that was released recently.
Yeah, because in the Control game,
there are
files you can find.
Yeah,
there's one
case file has the Alan Wake file. And he was like, since that file exists in Control, which is a sci-fi game, nobody will argue that. That makes Alan Wake sci-fi. Everybody groaned, everybody moaned, and said, "You're stupid."
I mean, like, what was he expecting though? It was because he's like, oh, I really enjoyed these games. If I can find a way to sneak in the fact that they're sci-fi.
I understand that, but it's just like at some point you have to expect
I get to put them on my list.
Right?
But I think there's something deep down inside him. I was like, I know I'm going to push some people's buttons and I'm going to get a reaction.
And honestly, I'm okay with it because that did make the panel pretty fun.
I was going to say, they did label it open debate. If you don't push some buttons, you're not going to get debate. You're just going to get a bunch of people agreeing with you.
He did a very good job of doing exactly what he needed to.
If he was doing it intentionally, bravo to him.
Genius.
If he wasn't doing it intentionally, he needs a serious like checkup on what a sci-fi game is. But that was our main CatScon experience. We had some other stuff.
Yeah, everything else was very
normal.
Very normal.
Yeah.
What else?
Hit the artist alley, hit the merch hall.
Yeah, and there was just more Fire Emblem being played.
Yeah, some more Fire Emblem. We checked out the AMVs. A lot of them was stuff from Otakon. There's some new stuff there.
Yeah, it was.
But it was pretty. We had a
really good cosplay and stuff.
There's a fun little video we tossed up you can check out of our day one experience.
Oh, is there? Did that get tossed up? Okay,
I got tossed up. You can check it out.
I'll have to check it out. Because I remember going, and I like obviously I was there. I know what kind of stuff happened. But unlike the Otakon video you released, I didn't really see you filming all that much. And I know you
only filmed day one.
I know you did film last. You did only film day one.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not sure to what extent you actually did film. So I don't know what ended up on there.
Actually, a lot of the filming the main thing was you looking down at the cosplayers. And then other times is like Chase would start filming you and I'd tell him, don't do that. And he'd be like, okay.
Okay. Right. We're gonna have to watch this video.
It's basically just bits like that. It's a short video.
Yeah. And then anyways, after CatScon, we went and we saw
1917.
1917.
I've been looking forward to this movie so much.
Yes, we are like the last people in the world to watch this movie.
Basically, it's been in. I mean, so
Yeah.
the initial release, it was a limited release.
Yeah.
On Christmas last year.
Yes.
So technically, it is a 2019 movie, not a 2020.
Yeah,
but then
because it did win a bunch of awards for 2019.
It certainly did. And then the wide release was, I think, sometime in January
I think
this
so,
year.
yeah.
So technically, it's been in the theater for about 3-ish months.
Yeah, we caught the tail end of it. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that movie.
I love the movie.
To like that was a ridiculously good movie.
It was
in my opinion.
extremely well done. It circumvented some of the styles you would have expected them to use for stuff.
Yeah.
Because you would expect like things to happen, like explosions.
Yeah.
But they would time it just a little bit differently than you're used to with pretty much every other movie that exists.
Yeah.
Right.
So it still had a really good impact. And the fact that it was filmed to look like a one take, obviously it's not one complete take.
Yeah. But I mean,
but the filming was just phenomenal.
You see every step the characters take
yeah,
in progressing towards their destination.
It's absolutely insane.
So
Because it
looks
only
like
flies them for 9 miles, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? 9 miles?
something like that. Yeah, but it looks like one take. But like from just watching it, and seeing if I could find any cuts, it only looked like there was like 4 cuts.
Yeah. There's
Right,
places
right.
where, like, for example, they go into like a tunnel at one point, and sometimes characters will walk across the screen, like right in front of the characters.
Mhm.
Very, very easy places
Yeah,
to hide a cut, and chances are that's probably what they did.
yeah.
But
Well,
it's so flawless.
But like the super obvious ones where he obviously gets knocked down, wakes up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's an obvious.
So that
Him
was
falling into the river was an obvious cut.
Yeah, that was my only issue. That one scene where he kind of gets knocked out, screen goes black, wakes back up.
Yeah,
Everyone said it was filmed to look like a one cut,
yeah,
a one take.
yeah.
That clearly makes it 2 takes.
It's literally like he wakes up and it's night.
Like the
Yeah.
camera wasn't in the same position or anything.
Yeah.
It was
But I
that is clearly a second
Yes,
take.
Yeah.
with the
Which I'm
exception
okay-
of that.
which
Yeah.
I'm okay
But I
with.
mean, I think it was
But that's
more.
not what people were saying, and
Right.
I'm a
Yeah.
little bit upset.
But I mean, I liked it because of the way they filmed it. Because he got knocked out and it was
Mm.
black for a bit. Because that's how you feel like you fall asleep.
Yeah.
It just feels black for a bit, and then you wake up and everything changes.
Exactly. And that's how I would say thematically
Yeah.
it counts as still being one take.
Yeah, you
'Cause-
still feel like you're in the shoes of that soul.
Because you essentially, the camera is the view of these people. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yes.
it's not like Hardcore Henry where it's literally the view of the character, but it is
But
to
you're
an extent their view.
you're following that character in their
And
perspective.
if his perspective is, oh, he's knocked down, he's not doing anything,
yeah,
then clearly the camera wouldn't see
Yes.
anything either.
Yeah.
So I would say thematically it still is one take, but technically speaking,
yeah,
not a one take anymore.
Yeah.
So the you have to
Still
imagine
amazing.
how much how tired those actors
Yeah.
had to have
the
been.
legwork
with,
doing that.
like
Yeah.
the crew just moving behind the camera the entire
Yeah.
time.
I mean,
and stuff.
Getting your extras to move on time.
Yes.
that
And there
amount
are
of
a
extras
ton of extras in that
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
in a
It's
cramped
insane.
space. Oh my goodness.
the way it ends, basically the same way it starts and stuff like that. Just or
Yes.
like it's just kind of pointing out to the same way the beginning is shot.
It's
Yeah.
it's so well wrapped up, and the fact that they got Benedict Cumberbatch in there
Yeah.
for like 3 minutes, I was just like, "What the heck? Where
Yeah.
did he come from?"
When he showed that, I was just like, wait.
Yes,
I wasn't expecting that.
and it's like the way what's it called, his results are like told, where it's like they're not exactly like
It's not perfect.
it's not
Yeah.
perfect. He did save lives.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he saved a lot of lives.
but
Yeah.
at the same time, like it's like exactly what he says in the line.
Like,
there.
yeah,
It's
when
about-
Benedict Cumberbatch, when his character,
Spoilers
his
for it,
general
yeah.
or whatever, kind of explains, "Good job, you saved them for today."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just
now I'm gonna send them out tomorrow, and they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
just kind of the futility of what he did, even
And-
though
yeah.
it did save lives.
And then he
immediately.
just walks around and sees the fact that he was late, how much it costs.
But like
Yeah.
it hits you with that sour. Oh, yeah, he saved these people now, but they're probably still going to end up dying somewhere else.
right.
And then he goes back to the medical camp, finds the guy he was looking
The
for, and
brother.
he's still alive.
Yeah.
It kind of lifts you back up from that low, and like at the
Yeah.
very least, he did make a difference. He made an important
Yeah.
difference. The real goal behind it. Saving everyone was great, but that was the person that he really needed to save, and it's just. It
Mhm.
ends very well. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Probably in my top 5 war movies. Period.
Another thing I
Same,
like about
yeah,
the movie is
definitely.
how it puts a scale on it. So you can, it's 9 miles, but you think World War I is this huge thing that takes over a course of all of Europe. But like they're saying, they're literally fighting for inches and miles in the movie.
They really are.
And it's just weird because you can follow them the entire journey. But like when it also shows how convoluted trench warfare is.
Yeah.
Because like they said they're walking past a line, which the Germans were, but then they already have like soldiers behind their line too.
Exactly.
So it's just like it's so weird how trench warfare happened
and how they can't like deliver information easily.
Yeah, and just how close they were to each other.
Because when they first go over those trenches like for the first time, it's just like it's like nerve-wracking. It's like what's going to happen? And so because like you assume you're like they're not going to die, but at the same time, but like, just like is there going to be someone there and going to shoot at them or
but like when you think about it, like they're like a football field or two apart.
Yeah,
they're just staring each other down.
Like you're saying, so like just at the very beginning of the movie, like the first 10-15 minutes, they start sitting under a tree. Someone's like, "Hey, you need to go see these people." They just walk over to those people and is like, "We need you to go to the front line," and then keep going all the way here. And they're like, "Okay," so they leave the people. And in like 5 minutes, they walk to the front line through trenches. Like if it was the birds way, they could have walked if they didn't have to go through trenches, bumping into people. They could have been there in like 30 seconds. Yeah, that's how far the front line was from the people they were talking to, who were not on the front line. Yeah. They were not on the front line.
They were just kind of off to the side a bit.
Just 30 seconds if it was a straight walk away.
But just
it's insane.
Then they tell them they have to go through the German front line, so they climb over the trench and go through the barbed wire. And it takes like another 5 minutes, and they're at the German front.
And that would have been one if they weren't sneaking around through mud.
Trying to crawl through barbed wire.
Insane how close they were.
Just, like it puts a real scale on World War I.
Yes, it was a phenomenal movie.
They were literally fighting for inches.
And how like when they're fighting in the dark, it's like you can't even tell like who's your enemy until you get like right up to them.
I think that the chase scene and everything in the dark was really good because they're blind fighting. They just know it's an enemy.
Yeah, they're like I see a silhouette moving, but at the same time I'm tired and I'm running and I can't aim for nothing. These guns are terrible and I can't aim with them already.
I couldn't recommend it enough.
Yeah, but regardless, I'm with George. It's probably one of my top favorite war movies, especially since it's a World War I movie. You don't get a whole lot of those.
I haven't seen a huge ton of them and stuff like that, but like the big one is Saving Private Ryan in my opinion and stuff like that. And this is, I'd say other than the fact that like Saving Private Ryan's really like American. And stuff for it and stuff.
I mean, that's another thing about this movie. There was no American soldiers. It was a British battalion.
It was strictly British.
And where were they? Were they in
It was in France.
It was in France. Yeah. Very very good movie. But let's get back to the anime since that's kind of what this is about. We haven't talked about any of the new stuff this season. And I know you watched a lot of
before we get into that stuff.
Before.
Okay, so I mentioned this to Eric. I got a new anime idea.
Oh yeah, this is a pretty good idea.
Okay,
he ran it by me the other day.
So this is what my isekai anime is going to be like.
Okay, I want to hear it.
All right, so super generic.
Naturally,
of course.
You got this holy temple, and they're like, we need the warrior of the ages to help us vanquish the demon king. So they summon a true warrior. A hero who will stand and fight and take up his reins and defeat the evil demon king. They summon. What's a generic anime name?
Let's just go with Kazuma.
Kazuma, the savior of us all. They summon Kazuma. Kazuma looks around. He's like, "Where am I? Have I been moved to an isekai? What? Well, I know what this means. This means that I must be the hero, right?" And so which means I need to figure out what my task is. He figures out his task from the people who summoned him. They're just like the Demon King. He's like the Demon King. Obviously, I have to defeat the Demon King and stuff. So we're basically using an episode to establish the lore of the land, because we got to make sure you understand what kind of world you're in.
I mean, it's always fantasy or something, but what fantasy?
Exactly. And he's not from this world, so it's okay to have like random characters give like massive dumps of information to this guy.
Gotta have your expo.
Yeah, to build this world and stuff like that. And you got to understand how magic works, right?
Yeah.
And stuff like because you can't just use magic and stuff like that. So you got to give him all this information and stuff like that. You got to give him his armor.
Okay.
Make sure he knows which units he's going to be controlling because he's got to send an army over to battle the Demon King's army, right?
Yeah.
And work his way and stuff. And then one of the warriors from the outside of the gate of the castle and stuff like that, he comes up and he says, "Sir, we have news that the Demon King's armies are advancing towards the castle." "What? How can this be?" "Don't worry, Your Highness. I, Kazuma, will save the day."
Kazuma
As your summon hero, of course, and stuff like that. Yeah. And he works his way he gets his armies ready on the front line and stuff like that. And he's talking to the general commander. And he says, "They have about 3,000. We have 1, but we have you on our side."
Of course.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. And this is happening like really fast.
This is all in the first
This
episode.
is like all first episode.
This is all in the
Okay.
first
Episode
episode.
1.
And stuff like that.
Is there any like time passage in episode 1, or is it like
No.
This is all just
Like
straight to-
I'd
like
say
less than a week.
I'd say a week.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he's
All right.
figuring everything out and stuff like that.
Cool.
And so Kazuma sees this army and stuff like that, and he's like, "Okay, time to use show my like hidden powers and stuff like that, because I feel this energy like flowing throughout me and stuff like that. So I gotta show like basically use my main character powers and stuff like
naturally,
that. And stuff
as one does.
and so their armies start charging towards each other, and then just out of nowhere, Kazuma dies
Yes.
right there.
Uh-huh.
And as he dies, he falls to the ground, and this voice starts talking, and it says, "Oh, how the foolish fall so easily. Well, it seems this warrior wasn't the chosen one after all. We'll just have to try someone else out and figure out how this works." As Kazuma's dead body is laying there, another hero gets summoned, literally in his place. Everyone who looks at this person sees this person as who Kazuma was beforehand. And this person is now the next contestant in the Isekai game show.
And everybody, they don't skip a beat. They just keep going on.
Exactly. So this person is now summoned in the middle of a battle. There's a dead body right beside them that only they can see. And everyone's referring to them as the chosen one.
Oh wow.
So it's literally like which character is going to make it to the end and beat the Demon King?
Oh no.
Yeah. So it's like, keep in
big.
mind, Kazuma is literally the most generic character off the bat and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get moved, and like let's say the second character is like a girl or something like that. It's not even a boy anymore.
And the general commander doesn't skip a beat and just like,
Skip the beat.
Asuna,
What are you stalling for?
What are your
the
orders?
armies are? Please, our men are dying out here.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Yeah,
We
it's
need to make this happen.
and so, but I figure there's gonna be likable variables and stuff like that,
Some
and
people
like
are gonna be like super hated.
some people are gonna be like actually like really good and stuff like that, but just die like a super cheap death. Some people are gonna be super beloved by the audience and stuff.
They don't know if they're gonna make it or not.
Yes, and there's
Oh.
the only one who really knows what's going on is the narrator over narrating voice and stuff like
That's-
that, who literally like just introduces
What an
everyone.
interesting concept.
Yep.
Isekai game show.
Yep.
Isekai game
Chase
show.
ran that by me the other day on the way to work, and I was like, this is a stroke of genius.
We gotta pitch it to someone.
This is a stroke of
There it
genius.
is. So if you want to buy my idea,
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're listening to the podcast, just so you know, we don't exactly have a copyright on this.
Yeah.
This isn't an IP we own, so
But
just
hit us
roll
up
with it.
and, like,
Hit us up. We've got ideas.
Yeah.
yes. But yeah, that's my next anime idea. So
That'd
that
be
when
amazing.
you can add that one to the list with also the 3 timelines one.
Yeah,
We talked about that a long
That
time
was-
ago.
yeah,
that was in
that
the
was
early
like a-
days of
yeah.
BakaTaka.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That had to have been like over 20 episodes ago at this point.
Easily.
That was
Easily.
the early
And so-
days.
So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
So
Yeah.
as well, yeah.
But let's jump into all this seasonal stuff.
Oh
That
my
we
God.
we finally
Oh.
started to watch like the first like episodes of them.
I've been behind.
Actually,
on a
I
lot of
did like
things.
weeks ago.
Well, yeah,
but-
Chase watched them all a long time ago, but I mean, I've said to myself, I'm finally going to start
I
watching. some
still
new
haven't
stuff.
even started all the things I want to watch.
Yeah,
I gave kind of everything like at least one episode.
Yeah.
Drop it or something like that.
Yeah.
and
But-
I've been watching some Chase while I'm here.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to watch the stuff that he hasn't watched. So we're just trying to get everything,
Yes.
at least a take.
Yes.
So the only thing we haven't watched is Haikyuu
IQ.
and that really lewd show that's getting taken off all the networks.
I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah,
But
nobody's gonna watch
No,
it.
that
that's-
one got picked back up by someone. I don't know who, but apparently they are airing it on some channel in Japan now. I
Oh.
don't know if we're gonna get it over here. I don't know what was it like
Ichizukon
interspecies-
review or something like that.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
interspecies reviewers or something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, we're probably not gonna
Oh,
watch that
no.
one. But we did take a take on like all the stuff currently airing.
Yes. Maybe
And-
we could probably start off with the bad one, which was Inspector.
But yeah, we watched this one yesterday.
Yes, so me and Eric watched the first episode of Inspector,
Yeah.
and we sit down and we turn this thing on, and we're pretty excited because we're like,
The cover art looks good.
Yeah, it looks like Kyokai no Kanata.
Yeah.
Beyond the Boundary. And
Yeah,
stuff like that. That's
so-
what I was expecting.
Yeah, so like the main character, looks a little cutesy. It looks like a generic story. We're like, maybe we can get behind this. The episode starts off, and Spirit like tugs on her, and it's like, "Oh, thanks for reminding me."
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so there's spirits in this
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Then it takes a nosedive, very fast, because she meets the main boy.
She doesn't meet him.
Yeah,
she
she
goes
finds
up.
him.
She finds him, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I've been looking for you."
Yeah, and then they go back in time to explain how they know each other. Blah blah blah. She saves him
It's
from
flashback
falling.
scene and stuff.
They explain all that. Story happened. It's love at first sight. Then they start explaining why he broke up with his girlfriend because she's inquiring about it.
Yes.
There's just no sense happening. And then the spirits are finally brought in because they talk about a Kappa and his issues with dealing with that Kappa.
Yep.
Then other spirits just start showing up when like we're scared of him.
Yes.
Then they fight a demon dog in a library. And then
What?
you're just like, what the hell did I just watch?
And the demon dog bites his arm off, but then he just grows a new arm.
Yes.
What in the world
Yes.
is going on?
And she has a fake eye and a fake leg.
Oh yeah.
But she ran through a library and hit the dog with a fire extinguisher.
oh,
yes.
this just needs to stop.
Okay, so for starters, this has somewhat of like a following for like the manga and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's like it's not like some like super obscure thing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's already
it
got
has a
like
following.
it has a following already.
Yeah.
And like I assume that the manga was better than the anime because the anime looks not good. Everything looks fleshed out. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of animation there and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
they also use like one of those old like mid 2000s like haze filter
Yeah,
over
yeah,
it, so
yeah.
it's got this like darker
I-
overtone to it.
That might have
Okay.
just been the color correction or something
Yeah,
like that.
but I
they
mean,
used for it. But it looks like it looks like Death Stranding. It
Yeah.
looks like it's always raining and gloomy.
The color scheme looked
okay,
like
so-
it came from like 2008.
Yes. And like while we're sitting there and like we're watching it, like I literally like look over to Eric and I'm just like, this is how someone like people literally like talk together and they're like, hey, we're going to start our show this way. We are going to literally start it like
How do we introduce this show?
yes. And they introduce it as if these characters aren't important.
Yeah.
And so
Like none of the characters felt important.
when you watch like a good show, think of like Steins Gate. And
Man,
one of
I
the-
love Steins
Yeah,
Gate.
think of how
Yeah.
the characters like get introduced and that and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And it's like a big like build
like
up.
it overinflates their flamboyancy.
Yes. It does like one of those, like start at their leg, like have them step into frame and then like the camera pans up and it shows
Yeah.
like their face or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like it shows like the top of their head like as they're walking and stuff like that.
it shows some distinctive feature about
Exactly.
them.
Yeah, it shows something about them, and it's like, okay, so this is how the person acts before you actually get introduced to the character. And
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
She
And-
was introduced sitting on a park bench looking at her legs, and then a spirit tugs on her.
Yeah.
But why though?
You got
We didn't know-
exactly.
So we didn't read the synopsis or anything before we jumped into it.
Yeah,
we
okay.
just saw this. And
We're
just like,
assuming that they assume that you read the synopsis before you jumped into it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
no.
it's like this doesn't happen. Why did this happen? Like you can't just start a show this way and like expect people to be on board. Like but there's people who like it. Fairy Tale Guy likes it, and like he's like, I don't understand it. There's everything that's done about this is like done so poorly. It's just like, oh, just throw stuff together, it'll work and stuff like
Yeah.
that. People like quirky stuff, right? So
I
just
think
put a lot of quirky in it.
they were trying to
Oh,
info dump,
no.
but the info dump wasn't good enough. The main male protagonist doesn't. He feels so generic.
He
Like,
doesn't feel
he-
like a character.
he-
He literally doesn't.
Yeah.
Everything he says is just a reply to
I
whatever
feel like he
she
could be
says.
dropped out of the show, and it would just be like a Monster of the Week detective thing with her.
Like,
Or
he's
you
literally
could-
just completely
No, just
unnecessary.
swap him with a mannequin,
Yeah.
and then it'll be the same.
So like it feels like one of those old.
That's rude.
He's just a body who
Yeah,
replies to things.
so it's like one of those lolly detective shows from a few years back. They're all like Kami-sama no Memo Chow, Ghost Sick,
Yeah,
Dantelia no Shoka,
Yeah.
all those, because she's a small friend girl that acts like a detective,
Okay,
or has like she speaks in a monotone voice and has vast knowledge, kind of thing.
fair enough.
But regardless, we sat through the first episode. It was weird info dump. The characters weren't likable. They didn't introduce them very well,
Yuck.
and we're just we dropped it after episode 1.
I didn't even make it through. Like in the middle of the episode, I walk over and like drop it on my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, like a minute after Chase did, I was like, just stop it, turn it off.
Just give up.
Yeah, it was like during the demon dog fight, and
Which
then-
was at the end.
yeah, it was pretty
yeah.
close to the end, and I just I went over and dropped
Yeah.
it too.
But anyways, we watched Inspector. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
It wasn't good. It was very mediocre because it had some cool ideas that just were like thrown at a wall.
Yeah.
And not done well. And the characters are terrible.
Yeah, but
in my opinion.
But speaking of worst characters, though, we forgot to put this on our list, but we remember that we watched it because it was so bad. But we watched Oda Cinnamon Nobunaga.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's the one where Nobunaga and all the warlords from that era, the
our dogs,
the whatever warring periods.
Yeah.
Of
the
Japan.
Edo.
Yeah, they basically all become. He watched it.
Was it just real quick on the last one?
Yeah.
Inspector, was it this show?
No,
that's
No?
ID
that's ID Invaded.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wasn't.
That's an original that's airing this season, and it's actually pretty good.
Because I don't see Inspector on.
But
here.
we'll get to that. I'll
Sorry,
show you.
I'm
later.
looking.
It's in, and then there's some like symbol, and then
I'll
Inspector.
pull it up on my tablet. Here you go. But
Oh,
we watch Oda Cinnamon Nobunaga. It's basically all the warring period generals from Japan get ported as
I didn't
dogs.
even think you'd bring that up.
And the modern
Stuff
era.
like that.
I
didn't think
I
it
just
was
saw it on my
worth
list, and I was like, it was so
bringing.
bad, and it's currently airing. So
I was like,
Okay.
in my opinion, that was unmentionable.
yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying we watched it, not worth it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
literal
Sounds
garbage.
like a terrible premise.
Yeah.
There's Darwin's Game, which is also bad, and it has a character literally yelling and like, why is all this going on right now? Why isn't anyone helping me as I'm running away from this guy? Man, I should probably save my breath so I can run faster from this guy away.
Darwin's Game doesn't look very good,
It's
but I
not
still need to
bad.
check out the first episode.
It's stupid. It's really stupid.
But
That's fine.
I know George has mentioned this before, but Beaufry, I put all my points in defense. I picked
So
it up.
good.
It's pretty good.
Are you caught up?
I haven't watched episode 8.
Okay. I am loving this show. Everything that happens in it, it just keeps getting bigger, and I'm just like, please.
Yeah.
I want more. Everything is stupid, and I love it. It's doing everything exactly how I would want it to do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a dumb, fun show. Just
Yeah.
people playing this game, breaking it,
Yeah.
and just having fun. It's exactly what I wanted out of this show.
The most enjoyment I'm getting out of it is watching the people being like, I'm a gamer, and that's not how these games kind of work.
Yes.
You can't do this to bus games. I'm just like,
I'm an MLG gamer, baby.
I'm just like, sit back and just enjoy the show. It's
Yeah.
dumb fun.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just the things are insane. And
Yeah.
I love how the game they set up allows her to do these things and combine stuff in ways that any real game wouldn't allow you to do.
Yeah.
Your fanboy sitting sitting in the comments section claiming I'm a gamer and none of this makes any sense.
Yeah.
To be fair, he's completely correct. He's just an idiot for thinking it's supposed to.
Yeah. So I mean, it's also like if you want to, we're making fun of that guy going into like allegories and symbolism stuff.
Oh yeah,
I think
some YouTuber.
the show likes to take I think they're poking fun at some current MMOs because a lot of people look at MMOs. You got to min max it. You got to do things like this.
Yeah.
And you just have people like this who are just dumping all their points in the defense, or like the two new girls that were introduced that dumped everything into attack.
Hard and strength and just everything.
Yeah.
Every single skill they get. Just
they're-
like you want to be stronger.
The creator was one of those people who like they played MMOs and then they picked up like a new one and they're just like, let's just make this character good at one thing.
Yeah.
And then that's what they did, and then they probably got the idea for it.
I mean, I think the show's poking a little bit of fun at current MMOs of how hyper min max they are and how people soak a lot of fun out of it.
Yeah.
So there's just like you can have fun with the games just by playing it how you want.
Yeah.
Just do whatever you want, and you might find something broken. So it's not supposed to be how MMOs are played these days. I think it's poking fun, and it's just a lighthearted fun show.
Exactly. It's just great characters in a great world.
Yeah.
Just doing things, having fun, and I am all for it. Highly recommend.
Hit for the chase.
I watched Somali in the Forest Spirit.
I have picked it up. I have not started it.
Yeah.
I've
heard it's phenomenal.
This is really good. Okay, so it's not like I'd say it's contending for like the top 5 of the season and stuff like that, but it's not going for number 1 because we already know what that is.
Oh,
It's
we
like,
know what number 1 is.
Hey, stop talking.
Don't check it.
But anyway, Somali in the Forest Spirit. It's one of those dad animes where like it's a dad taking care of like a little kid.
Okay.
And stuff like that. But it's like it's this cool like fantasy kind of like almost like survival kind of like scenario thrown into it and stuff. I really don't want to spoil it or anything.
But I mean, to not spoil it, in the synopsis, it says Basically, humans were wiped out.
Okay, so it actually says
Yeah, they were wiped out
Gotcha.
by spirits and stuff like that.
So what it is there's basically like the animal like demons, like elves and stuff like that, like all these people and stuff like that, and
like
then they met
folklore
humans.
stuff,
yeah, and basically the humans tried to rule over them in a sense and stuff. They tried to take control of everything and stuff like that. So
let me guess how that went.
They killed all like the they killed pretty much all the humans, and then the ones that they didn't kill, they're like they're like livestock.
That's about what I expected.
Because it's like half of these creatures will eat humans. And stuff like that.
Very nice.
And basically, there's this forest guardian Gollum,
mm-hmm.
and he's literally just like doing his rounds around this one forest and stuff like that, and he literally just finds this little girl laying there, and she can't find her parents,
and that's the show. It's
just taking care of her, trying to get her back home.
Trying to get her back home.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff that goes on, but I don't want to.
Good.
But everything explained there is in the synopsis you can read on like My Anime List or Crunchyroll.
And the show has like random points where it's just like you're watching it, and it's like. So she's basically she's got a hood with horns on it. So she's disguised as like a little minotaur and stuff like that. That's what he tells people. It's like she's a baby minotaur and stuff. And so that's what goes on whenever she's out in public and stuff like that. And then they stay at like an inn in one episode, and like she doesn't have her hood on or anything, and they're like yelling like loud at each other and stuff like that. And then you hear footsteps coming down the hall and stuff like that. And it gets like these really like tense moments and stuff like that. Because it's like. Some of these people like eat humans, and stuff like that. So it's like, what could happen and stuff.
So from what I have seen, and like I said, I haven't watched any of the episodes, but I've seen like little bits and clips and YouTube videos just talking about things during the season, and it looks like it has a very similar, lighthearted yet surprisingly dark tone at some points, kind of like Made in Abyss.
Okay, definitely not nearly as dark as Made in Abyss.
But
I think it's more. I think I mentioned it to Chase, but I think it's more like Ancient Magus Bride.
Yeah, it's more like that. Still not as dark. It's not like gory and violent.
It's just like feelings of. Like,
it's suspenseful. And stuff like that, because it gets to points where you're like, I don't know how this plays out. I mean, obviously she's not gonna die.
But I mean, she's the main character, but you get this, I guess, feeling of dread or uncertainty that like something bad could happen.
Yeah, definitely. And so it feels the way they like the position they're in. It feels like they're literally just like in the middle of like the lion's den and stuff like that, and they're just trying to sneak their way out.
Well, I definitely plan on picking it up, but. I think there's only one show left to talk about, right? And I think we all agree at the moment.
Oh yeah,
it is the best thing in this season.
I can definitely agree. I mean, I agreed last time we talked about it.
Bofuri is great, but this show is it's something else.
I haven't checked out everything this season, but so far I really like what you're about to mention.
It is Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken.
Or Keep Your Hands Off My Aizuken.
Yeah.
If you want to say it wrong, I guess.
So hey, you're the one who started that.
What? No, I never said that.
But it's pretty enjoyable.
Yes, we talked about it last time, and me and George were just like, the first episode, she holds the paper up against the window, and they put the trolleys over the concept art.
Yeah, we were freaking out because we were just like, this is amazing. Yeah. But now we're further in. No one's caught up yet. I've seen up to episode 6, Chase up to 5. And Eric up to 5.
We watched
literally just started 6.
4.5 minutes of episode.
4.5 minutes of
paused,
episode 6,
and we decided we needed to record before it got too late.
Yeah.
But this show, it has continued to be exceedingly excellent.
It's also like, especially rewatching those episodes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah,
like the character animation is just really funny, and the jokes are really funny.
The characters are all great, and the story, it's so simple. But the way they use animation to describe the things they're actually talking about in the show just gives it such like a good feel, because they go essentially from the 2 different phases. There's the real life phase where it's just these schoolgirls doing their thing, trying to get to the anime, and then when they start actually creating the things they're creating, it just takes on a whole different thing. It's still the same characters, but it's suddenly this very imaginative world. They all get these hard hats because it distinguishes their characters from just their characters in real life to them doing their whole thing in Imagination Land.
And when they're in Imagination Land, and like literally all the sound effects are done literally as sound effects being done by what's her face, Asakusa or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like the mouth sound effects for the engines, and things popping, like explosions, like.
And
just doing it, and it's like the music changes, and it's an entirely separate feel from the real life aspects of the show to the imaginative aspects, but it still feels so cohesive, and it goes so seamlessly from one to the other.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
And the show, when it gets to its hyper moment, it feels very Trigger-like.
Yeah.
It feels very Trigger-like, and the show's very self-aware too.
Oh yeah.
Like
absolutely.
in the first episode where she's describing the school, she's like, the school doesn't make sense. Like, just look at the layout. And stuff.
Yeah.
Look
But
at this
it's so,
clock and
but it's
nobody
so
can see.
cool looking. And stuff. And like the way the studio just puts in like the extra animation that they don't even have to just help bring out the characters. Yeah. Like there's a scene where what's her face, Mizuki, the popular girl or whatever. I can't remember her name and stuff. But like they're all just sitting there and they just have her like stretching her arms behind her chair and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, and it's literally like, other than their mouths and stuff like that, it's like the only thing that's like moving on screen and stuff like that. And they don't have to do that.
Didn't have to.
Yeah.
But they did.
Showing off a little.
Yeah. And it
like
puts a smile on
just
face.
Walking through the process of creating their first anime to help establish themselves as the film club since Anime Club was taken. Like the first film they do is building that up, and they just the process and how it walks through and the issues they're having, and they're like, hey, if we just do these things we can fix it. And they do those things live. They actually just do them, and you see how it changes the animation in the show. You watch it happen. You're like, oh, that makes perfect sense. And you're right, it does look better and it works. And I can see how they took things they already had, and now instead of just 30 seconds, they have 50 seconds. How they stretched it, and they made it work. It's really, really cool.
And I like how they have a little moment there to show like tensity between like an artist and like a studio head. Of how like, you need to make cutbacks, you need to figure out how to make this faster so we can get things moving along.
But I don't want to.
So
it doesn't matter if you don't.
Yeah, it just shows them like how they'll butt heads and how they'll compromise in a studio to get their end product.
But they all end up working together.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's just all these little moments and stuff that come together to make it's a really great show.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're all really enjoying it, but that seems to be all we have time for today.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a bunch more to talk about. That's all we can get to right
now.
There's
a lot.
There's like 3 or 4 things that I watched.
I've got like a dirt ton of them.
It's because we're recording a week later than we usually do. My bad. Had to go on a vacation.
It's all good. It happens. It's all good, bro. But anyway, as always, you've been listening to BakaTaka, and sitting on the left, it's
George.
On the middle, it's
Eric.
And I'm on the right, and I'm Chase. Don't forget to flex on them haters, and leave a like down below.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button.
Ring the bell.
Ring it.
Ring it hard.
Leave a comment.
Smash the bell.
If you want to
smash the like button.
If you want to say something, leave a comment, and that seems to be all that we talk about. Boom slank, and then and that's it. Get out of here.
Later.
Peace.
Ripping on.
I'll buy it off you.
How much?
Can you just give it to me?
What part of buying off don't you understand?
He's like, yeah, I get it.
Don't put that on my laptop.
Yeah, put it right
I'm gonna
there.
put it on your laptop.
Put it right
throw it in
there.
the trash.
Keep it there. Move your laptop.
Either goes on top or it goes flat.
We need it here. This is where the podcast laptop is.
Use it on the table.
We put the podcast laptop
But
here.
joking.
I'm gonna put you on this table and I'm gonna